If you enjoy a challenge and like multitasking, then Mara might be the choice for you in the recently released MMO-inspired title, Fellowship. So let's do a quick overview on Mara's toolkit and how all her skills work in unison before I can tell you to like and subscribe. Damn it, did it again! Mara is a rogue type hero who utilizes bleed and poison effects to increase her energy regeneration, while using this energy to amass combo points for powerful finishes. One of those point generators is Backstab, a single target hit which deals more damage when hitting the back of an enemy while having a low energy cost, which rewards us 2 combo points unless it crits, which then rewards us 3 points. This is the theme of Mara, generating more combo points with crits, so keep that in mind. This can especially work wonders with Widow's Bite, which uses the main and offhand weapons each generating 2 or 3 combo points respectively. Since this ability therefore hits twice, a crit on both hits could grant us 6 combo points, which is the maximum amount Mara can hold at a time. Widow's Bite, however, has one more great function in seeing Mara recharge 30 energies. So this one ability can provide us with a quick refill of energy as well as a large amount of combo points. With 3 charges, this ability is one hell of a cooldown, usable in single as well as AoE damaging situations. Now, Mara has 2 single target combo point generating abilities, but she further has one AoE hitting skill that sees her fill the combo point counter rather quickly. With Skittering Blades, she hits all targets around her while generating 1 combo point per enemy hit, while again crits give her 2 combo points per enemy hit. This provides her with a bunch of combo points in a group fight, which she can use for 3 different abilities, but before we check out those, a core function of Mara's toolkit needs to be addressed. Brooding Shadows is a 2-charge ability which sees her go into stealth mode, enhancing the previously mentioned abilities in great ways. Backstab will deal a whole lot of damage if used from stealth with a guaranteed crit, as well as generating 6 combo points right away, allowing us to use a full powered finisher right after. Widow's Bite gets empowered in the way that it leaves a poison for 1 minute, which increases our energy regeneration, allowing us to use more abilities during a fight, while Skittering Blades leaves a different kind of poison on enemy targets. It deals damage over 6 seconds, and after it expires or the target dies, this poison explodes, dealing damage to all enemies. Brooding Shadows requires us to constantly keep an eye on its charges and utilize them in meaningful ways. If we are facing off against a large group, the first charge should be used for Widow's Bite on the target with the most health points to have a long 40% energy regeneration increase, while the next charges should be used on cooldown for Skittering Blades, dealing enormous amounts of AoE damage. But don't overlap 2 Skittering Blades at once, since you have to wait 6 seconds before the explosion happens from the poison, so keep that in mind. In single targeting fights, we could use a charge of Brooding Shadows for Backstab, but how all this might look in an actual dungeon will be shown later. First, we have to tackle the options we have to spend the mentioned combo points. There are 3 finishes to choose from, each with their own effects and situations to use. The first 2 are simple. Queen's Fang and Arachnid Assault spend the combo points for single and AoE damage, meaning in fights where there are fewer than 3 enemies, it is best to spend it on Queen's Fang, like boss fights or finishing off the remaining mobs of a group fight, while Arachnid Assault is the best option to deal enormous amounts of damage the more enemies there are. The third spender, however, is far more than a simple single bleeding ability, as Hemorrhaging Strike may leave a damage over time effect on one target with a longer duration the more combo points we use, but it further gives us 3 energy every time the bleeding ticks. This means our goal in a fight is to keep this bleeding effect on as many targets as possible, since we can get a lot of energy back to use for other abilities. And those are all the powerful and complex damaging abilities Mara has, while her utility skills are not to be underestimated. Just like any other DPS hero, Mara of course has an interrupting skill called Kick, which stops enemy casts, and of course she has a movement ability as well, to avoid damaging areas or even close the gap between enemies. Stalker Step not only sounds like the staircase of Jeffrey Dahmer, but further is Mara's skill to teleport to either a friendly or enemy target, while further getting a movement speed buff, giving her great flexibility to move around the battlefield. Those two abilities are further accompanied by a skill that stuns one enemy with enveloping web, stunning one target for 4 seconds. This could be used to stop enemy spells like a whirlwind or a cast, giving her another option to help out her team. While those skills focus on support and movement for Mara and her team, she further has two abilities which highly increase her damage output. So let's dive into how they work and do a quick example on a possible rotation. Maiden of Death is a short buff which sees every combo point builder like Backstab or Widow's Bite to always generate 6 combo points. This means during this skill we are always having the maximum amount of combo points to use for our finishes, while also having an increased damage output of plus 20%. This works like a charm in a boss fight, where we are starting off the fight with Widow's Bite, spending one charge of Brooding Shadows. And once we have 6 combo points, we use Hemorrhaging Strike and now have our 2 main dots for energy regeneration and damage on the target. After this, we are using the last charge of Brooding Shadows with Backstab to have a powerful crit and another 6 points to spend for Queen's Fang. Activating Maiden of Death now also allows us to gain 6 points with every backstab and spend it on Queen's Fang. Rinse and repeat, while for AoE targets it is basically the same. However, we can replace backstab with Skittering Blades. And as mentioned before, try to keep as many bleeding debuffs active for more energy recharge. A possible help for this would be a bleeding focused build, which sees us add Hemorrhaging Strike onto 5 enemies at once while Maiden of Death is active. This talent is called Gushing Blood and helps us increase our damage output by a ton. All of these abilities combined with the spirit skill Matriarch Macabre sees her absolutely destroy our enemies, because not only are we increasing our haste through this ability, which means faster ticks for our poison and bleeds, but further 2 shadow clones appear every time we use Queen's Fang and Arachnid Assault, copying those skills with 50% effectiveness. So use this to see your damage numbers ramp up high. And that's the rogue-ish hero Mara. What are your thoughts on her? What is your preference pick of talents? What is the square root of 9? Let me know in the comments and have a great day or evening.